Promotion is not just tied to what you do. That's why sometimes we have a lot of disgruntled employees saying, "Oh, I gave years of my life. I did this. I did that. I had sleepless nights. I was always delivering within shorter turnaround time, and yet I'm being overlooked." It's because they've not actively built relationships in their workplace. It's not just about the work you do; it's also about the people you know. So we've always heard it. Oh, your network, sorry, your network is your net worth. It's not just outside of the organization, even in the organization, the people you relate with, how you're able to relate with your juniors, how you're able to relate with your peers, how you're able to relate with your seniors, that's your managers, even down to the management team, not just your immediate manager, and how you're also able to draw the fine lines. So you have an amazing relationship with your junior colleagues, but they still respect you. You have an amazing relationship with your peers, but at the same time, you are handling that professionally. My course was a 5-year course, and I got my job in my 400 level. I attended the career fair, met with the partner of the organization. So when we say partner in consulting firm, partner means thank you. Partner means like a managing director. Asked, oh, why my CV was 2 pages. And as a very bold, confident undergraduate, I said, why not? Like I did everything I wrote on that CV. So why shouldn't I put it there? Why shouldn't I show you that I did these things? And that started the conversation. And then we had a bit of chit chat back and forth. And I was like, well, have I ever considered human resources? And I said, oh, I don't know about that, but I will definitely do my research and get back to him. And he was like, okay, if I'm interested, and I finished school with a 2-1 or a first class, I have a job waiting for me. And that was it. I kept tabs. Started started sending him happy new month message every month. So you can imagine, as I got a job in 400 level, I still had a whole year in 500 level. Every month, I was always texting him. If I probably miss a month, I probably text him mid-month and say, "Oh, how are you doing, sir? How is work?" I kept tabs with him. Trust me, that was politics even before I got into the organization. I just knew that even though this man had offered me the job, I still needed to keep tabs and put myself top of the mind. Because trust me, within that 1 year, you might have seen other brilliant, hardworking, focused, even people that have the experience than myself and undergraduates. I didn't even know if I wanted to do HR in the first place. But I needed to keep myself top of mind. That is what politics does for you. And truly, I got posted to Lagos. I sent him a text. "Oh, sir, I finished with a 2-1. I'm currently in Lagos camp." And he said, "Oh, fine. I'll tell HR, send me your email address. I'll tell HR to send you a letter so you can print and show them in camp, and then you get posted here." And that was it. I got posted to a consulting company, and I didn't have to teach, or I made good use of my 1 year experience as an NYSC graduate. And that was when I knew that that's the key. From my first organization, I knew that was the key. And this shows the informal network. My communication with him was informal, such that I'd even now built a foundation with him, such that even when I resumed, it felt like I'd been working with him for a year. It just had that confidence that, oh, this is somebody that, and trust me, in my 3rd month, I was already attending client interviews with CEOs of companies. Because when I got on the job, okay, I built the trust. You know, I mentioned trust in the previous slide. I built the trust, I built communication, I built influence. I was top of mind for him. And then when I resumed, I was so eager. I'd researched the company, I'd researched so much about human resources. I had the knowledge. I was ready to hit the ground running. And immediately I resumed, I started, like, my onboarding was so quick. I started asking for this, asking for that. And he saw how hungry and how hardworking I was, using Marana's words, how hardworking I was. And before you knew it, I would also present myself well, dress the part. I knew I was working in a consulting company, so I would always dress the part, look good. But wherever you have people, alliances are going to form, conflicts are going to occur, relationships are going to affect decisions. That is ground rule. And then that day, I think I was making coffee, and then this guy walked in, and then I'm like, "Oh, are you new?" And he said, "No, he's been in the organization for 6 months." And I said, "What team are you in?" And he said, "Finance." I said, do you know me?" He said, "Yes." I said, "Do I know you?" He said, "Oh, maybe I've seen him." I said, "No, this is my first time of seeing you." Trust me, if that guy has been the one making sure that my salary is being paid as I went due, and has been making sure that every finance, all the numbers are accurate, he's not being noticed. Because if I like, I'm not even management team that don't even see anybody. Just his senior has not noticed him for all 6 months. He's been doing great work, but I have not noticed him. I've seen his work that anybody, like Maranatha mentioned, can take credit for. Anybody. But because he's just doing the work and believing that, oh, they will ask, one day ask that, oh, who did this work? Jokes on you, because nobody will ask. Management team, leaders, they just want results. They don't care who does it. So that is why you have to make them know that you did it. See, it's a different thing if you did not do something and you're not shouting up and down. But you did something, blow your horn. Another mistake that people make, taking sides too quickly and participating in gossip. Please don't gossip. Politics is not gossip. The fact that I'm telling you to build relationships, you can build relationships on anything apart from gossip. See, they are talking about you. It's right here. The person gossiping with you today may be gossiping about you tomorrow. And there are 5 habits here that build influence, right? So you build relationships before you need them. Manage your professionally. Focus on your reputation. Understand stakeholders. Develop emotional intelligence. I'll say for me, the key one here that just sums up everything is emotional intelligence. So when facing a toxic environment, I've also been a victim of that. Document important interactions. Remain professional. Trust me, there's so many times that I really wanted to say really, yeah, we're almost done. I really wanted to say really bad things to maybe my colleagues and my managers. They were really frustrating me. I remained professional. I would just run to my parents or run to my friends. Escalate appropriately. Protect your reputation. And know when it's time to move on. Know when it's time to move on. Key takeaways. This sums it all up. Be excellent at your job. Build relationships intentionally. Don't just wait. Don't use people. Don't use people. Don't do that. Build those relationships before you need them. Invest in those relationships before you need them. And last, protect your reputation. Don't gossip. Don't throw anyone under the bus. Be ethical in your relationship or your interactions with other people. And with these 3, I believe that, like I said, it's a recipe for success, and I'm sure that every one of us will excel at our workplace. Thank you. It can also happen that because you're doing your work well and you're playing the politics, or you're building relationships, all right, some people would actually feel threatened by that. That happens, and that's why I said that when you know your onions, no, you're not tied to any organization. As long as you know that you're hardworking and you know exactly, quote and unquote, what you bring to the table. If you're no longer being valued at other organization, and if your growth is threatening anyone there, take your amazing self elsewhere, where they would value you, where your competencies will be appreciated. Take it. Trust me, there are places that would love what you do. The organizations that are looking for people like you that know how to engage all stakeholders well, that know how to do their job, and at the same time manage relationships excellently. So you're not tied to the organization. If for any reason you feel stuck or you feel caught in a corner, please, in Nigerian parlance, pack your load. Pack your load and take your amazing self elsewhere.
Elizabeth says, how do we make our achievements known without making it seem like boasting? Blessing says, how can leaders identify and address unconscious favoritism before it affects team morale and performance? And then Maranatha says, since you said we should leave a toxic place of work, what if it's the employees, not the employer? The employer does not even know what's going on. Should we still leave? Thank you.
So I'll start from Maranatha's question. I'm sure that, I believe the organizations would usually have surveys. I've realized over time that people don't say the truth in surveys. You're hurting yourself more than you would, because I don't want any trouble. Fill those surveys. Let the bosses know, or let the employer know that there's a ground problem, there's a cultural problem going on beneath you. Have those difficult conversations. And that's what I said, that if before it got to this level, it's been toxic, but you've built the relationship in the beginning, you would be trusted because you've built trust. So if something is going wrong, and trust me, before I left the toxic workplace, I let them know. I let HR know. I let the management team know. I let the CFO that was quite close with. I let the COO herself know. I let the head of. I'm not reporting. No, I'm just saying. And that's why you need to know the difference between gossip. I'm just saying. Thank you for your time today. Da, 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 da. I just wanted to HR. I was very plain. I told HR exactly where it was. I believe that my work is not being recognized. I did this, I did that, and I felt like my work is being short. And I think this also addresses how you make your achievements known without boasting. So you're not saying, ah, it's me that did it, but you're saying, oh, last month or last half year, I was able to let me use design. But pardon me, oh, I don't know anything about design, but pardon me.
It's fine.
I was able to draft, or I was able to come up with a design that helps our clients address this and this and this and let the client satisfaction. And I believe that I am eager and I'm eager to contribute more in areas that I am needed. What have I done? I've made my achievement known. Did I boast? No. So, like I said, if you're the employee that, oh, your workplace has been toxic, you've been doing well, and maybe your immediate boss or your manager or even your peers have been bullying you or have been toxic towards you, if you've been top of mind, if you've been having these conversations and building trust and building those relationships, these are conversations that can be had. You're not reporting, but you're being very, I'll say if you're a Christian, pray to God for wisdom. That's also, I think that's my greatest act. Just ask God for wisdom. I'm going to meet this person. Go ahead of me. Grant me the right words to say. Grant me wisdom to be able to address this. And that is it. And then for blessing, John that mentioned, how can leaders identify and address unconscious favoritism before it affects team morale and performance? I would say that get an external consultant. Get an external consultant to say, oh, everybody have and really when you give your word, let people really trust. Like, you're not saying that it's anonymous and then you are witch hunting people after. No, have an anonymous survey. Let an external consultant come conduct an anonymous survey, and I trust you people would really talk, and from the results that you get from that, you're able to make data-led and data-based decisions. And I hope that helps. Thank you.